Welcome back, YouTube. So right now, Doge is just bounced off of it, but Doge has just hit 18 cent. We've been charting it all night, and we are literally on a tear right now. It is going to the heavens. If you follow my channel already, you know that we projected this overshoot a few days ago, right? And that's the purpose of this line here. I was saying that once we have around 6 green days in a row, based off of history, typically we rally about 30 cent, at least 30%, and that will put us at around 18.2, and that came true today. Well, this morning, this has been a very interesting journey. I don't think anyone expected this. We are now literally off the charts, off the zones, everything. Um, it's blowing through anything that says it should be a consolidation point right now, like RSI, everything. It's blowing through that. We'll get into consolidation in a moment, but right now we are getting ready to go into gap territory, right? That is where things, if you think things have been parabolic, it's in the grand scheme of things, it's not. It's very, it gets very interesting from here. So what we're looking at, this is the comparison back from March of 2022, where this is where we had that hoorah, and we're at the highest we've been in since 2022 as well. So this is the highest we've been in about 2 years. This was obviously off of the descent, and before we got to this level, this is, if you look at this here, there's always like a chart inside of a chart, right? So a breakout from this point, right? We have like little bowls in here, and I want you to take a look at this here. This, I know it's a lot bigger. This is over the span of 2 years, but look at this as a bowl, right? From right here, look the ledge, and look at all this as the bowl, and look at where we are right now. This would be the other end of the bowl. So after this, after a breakout from this point, things get really, really interesting here. And this is when you start having some serious gap ups, because the 20s are, the 20s are a battle zone, but it is an extreme price volatility. So you're going to see a lot more bigger movements than what you're doing now. And obviously we'll talk about that when it comes, but once you get out of the 20s, then, at that point you just hang on, because you're off to the races at that point. So what we're looking at here is, if we are able to break out of this, we'll talk about consolidation in a moment. I know some of you are like, what about a pullback? So we're going to talk about that. But if we break out of this here, we're looking at somewhere between 22 and 25 cents, right? And if you are looking at shorts, we talked about that this morning. They are terrified right now. You'll see them taking you see some people coming in taking some slightly newer positions here, but these guys are getting tore a new one right now. Literally, for lack of better words, they are getting raped. They are getting killed right now. Probably 100% to the downside, at least 50%. They're going to have to exit those positions soon, probably today. It's getting really ugly out here for them. So don't be surprised if you see some red candles, or at least a swap. So typically you'll see some people take newer positions here, or they're at the point where saying, okay, well, whenever the run exhausts itself, that's when we're gonna jump in, right? And if you take a look here, like if Doge does have a pullback right now, you'll see the fastest red candle you've ever seen. That red candle for this exit of shorts is going to be like lightning. They're going to run out of that building because the building is on fire. And that's what I mean. Why you typically don't short you don't jump in front of a freight train, because you might just get hit. And that's what's happening right now. So if we're looking at consolidation, right, that's the biggest thing, is how long can this continue? As far as for lengthwise, it can be, even if you're looking at RSI, stuff like that, it can be overbought for quite some time. That's not abnormal. It has been. I think it ran from like 30 until the all-time high. Even that run was like over a month, and it was, everything was saying it was overbought, but it was still going, right? So at some point you'll have FOMO come in, and all those things start playing factors, and it starts, adding onto each other. But right now, if we are looking at a consolidation, that just kind of depends off of where the market is, right? It's getting difficult to chart. If we're going to take a look at coin market cap, I think our 24-hour liquidity coming into the market is like over like 5 billion, if I'm not mistaken. So I think 5 billion, it's either for the week or for the day. It's some crazy number of money that's coming in right now. We'll take a look in a moment, but we're looking at a consolidation. Technically speaking, I thought we were going to come down. When we were at 14 cent, I thought we were going to have a consolidation maybe at around 12 cent and go that way for a few days. It was never my wildest dream we would take off this. I know it was a possibility. That's why I made the video saying, we typically have that run, that 30% run, but this has exceeded everything. And even the 200-day is climbing like tremendously. If we take a look here, we could be threatening another gap up. So we'll see here. I know the next couple of days. I'll save that one for our next video. But if we're looking at consolidation, let's say where's Doge likely to grab liquidity from, right? So if we are talking about the bowl here, remember, so we're looking for past places of liquidity. So technically speaking, right now, the only previous liquidity zone that we have in here is at around 13, 14 cent, which would be here. And it makes sense. That's the closest range where we've had two candles close. So that was at least somewhat respectable. So that would be around a 3 cent drop to grab some liquidity. But as of right now, it is, even with the sells aren't coming in even fast enough to kind of gauge it. Right now, it's just off to the races here. So when stuff like this is happening, you're going to have to kind of wait and see where the market reaches an agreement between buys and sells to determine where that liquidity is going to come from. But if I had to say right now, I would say somewhere maybe between 13 and 14 cent. And that is if panic selling doesn't come in, because that's always a possibility, because people typically, everyone, if you bought Dogecoin at any point in time in the last week, you're in profit, right? So the only way it's even possible for you to be out of profit is if you bought Dogecoin prior to 2022. And that's just a fact. So right now, if you bought Dogecoin at any point in time in the last 2 years, you are in profit. So that is the only thing that I can say that can kind of trigger a sell-off here, is people saying, okay, well, where's it going to go back down? Is it going to drop back down to 6 and stuff like that? And obviously you have the perma bears out there, and they'll be leading that charge probably because they have short positions. And we'll have to kind of see where the market agrees that it's a great place to grab liquidity right now. Because on the flip side of that, you also have people who feel like they missed the boat and they're waiting to get a good deal, or they're waiting for a pullback so that they can actually jump in. There's that group of people who thought the coin was dead or thought it was too soon for the run, and they were simply waiting. And now they're like, okay, well, Bitcoin's taking off, Ethereum's taking off. Okay, now I'm going to get in, but I want to get a good deal. So they're waiting on that red candle to jump in. And then once we couple that, we'll have some type of agreement in there, and that will give us our liquidity zone, right? After that negotiation takes place. So right now, if I had to guess, I'd say 13 to 14 cent if I had, but there's not enough. This isn't strong. So, but even right now, based off of the numbers and the volume that we're seeing coming in, it's looking like we're headed to the 20 cent range. So that'll be something else to kind of keep an eye on. Let's look at, I want to switch to something here. Let's see here. I think this will do us better. So we're going to coin market cap. I want to point out here, let's see, Dogecoin's volume in the last 24 hours is over $6 billion. That is insane. The volume is crazy. Shiba's had some serious volume too. It's actually leapfrogged up to 10, so they're having their run. They're still around 5-6 billion behind Doge, but they're having a good run. Excuse me. Let's see. There's only a few that have a better run. The top 10, USDC, Tether, Ethereum, and Bitcoin. So those are just top 5, even when it comes to volume. So that's a big deal. Not bad for a coin that's supposed to be dead, huh? 104% on the week, killing it, killing it. This is going to be a very interesting bull run here. I think that it's going to shock a lot of people, and ultimately, when it's all said and done, it's going to tear some faces, right? So, with that being said, that is the breakdown of the current price action, our possible run to around 25 cents. And we will see you guys in the next update. If you found any value in this video, consider liking the video, sharing it, and subscribing, becoming a member. We're headed to 100K this year, and I'd love for you to be a part of it. Thanks, and I'll see you guys in the next update.